Hello, my name is Brett Swarts, and I couldn't be more excited to talk about eXp Commercial. You know, before we get started here, I want to tell you a little bit about my background. I promise to keep it brief, but I think it's important to understand the context of what this presentation is going to be about. I'm going to try to weave it into my story, so perhaps your story might relate with mine. You know, I grew up in the real estate industry, really the business with my family in the Bay Area, California, building homes, you know, living and figuring out cash flow and rentals, and had a chance to go and study at Marcus Millichap even before I graduated college, and I fell in love with multifamily brokerage, and I studied under some of the best in the business in 2006, and I had a great run for about 5 years. In fact, I loved everything about Marcus Millichap and their training and the mentorship and learning how to underwrite properties and cap rates and IRRs and negotiate deals and put deals together. I really fell in love with solving problems for clients in a way that could help them achieve their goals. And what I'm going to share with you right here has to do with eXp solving problems for agents or brokers. You know, if you're in the commercial real estate industry as a broker, eXp has figured out a way to solve the biggest challenges and align with agents to give them an opportunity to grow wealth in a transformational way. And we'll explain that. By the way, this works for residential agents and also business brokers as well. And every major company that changes the industry starts with a very special person. And that special person is known kind of like an icon, someone like a Michael Dell or a Steve Jobs. Someone who comes in and looks at things in a different way, or a Bill Gates, and literally transforms industries. And that person for eXp is the founder, Glenn Sanford. And Glenn had a vision because guess what? He was an agent like us at one point and found out that the traditional brokerage model wasn't serving the brokers in the best way it could have. And in fact, I like to think of this like the rich dad, poor dad. If you read the book by Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about the left side of the quadrant, employees and self-employed, versus the right side of the quadrant, which is business owner and investor. And the question was, and we did this at Marcus Millichap, was how do we get on the right side of the quadrant? How do we become owners of investment real estate? How do we get passive income coming in? How do we grow our wealth? And that's kind of the idea. And I want to kind of weave this theme and this idea through this entire presentation and see if it resonates with you. And I really believe it will if you put your underwriting hat on and you come with an open mind about what's actually possible. And so Glenn, being a residential agent, also being in the tech industry, he said, you know what? These big brick and mortar companies aren't necessarily serving the customer or the agent. Is there a way to make the model even more profitable for the agent so the agent can serve the client at a higher level? And so he's gone on to, not only did he have a big role in internet startup companies before launching the real estate company in 2002 for eXp, but he has gone on to create the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of real estate. Over 87,000 agents as we're recording today, and over 21 countries, and expanding like a rocket across the industry, and just now really getting into commercial, okay? And so he looked at this and said, how do we get on the right side of the quadrant for agents? How do we make them actually business owners and investors? And how do we transform the model so that it can change the way that we do business? In other words, he was solving a problem, just like as an agent or a broker yourself, you probably love to solve problems using 1031 exchanges, using traditional installment sales, using Delaware statutory trust, maybe using a deferred sales trust to solve a capital gains tax problem for your clients who are exiting highly appreciated assets. You know, figuring out ways to add value to properties, figuring out ways to re-tenant properties, whatever it might be, you're in the business of solving problems. And that's what Glenn figured out. And so the eXp itself is now, it trades on NASDAQ, and it's a multi-billion-dollar company, and it's a zero debt company as well. And the biggest thing is it's agent owned. It's owned by us, the agents, us, the brokers. where we can keep our own branding, keep our own name, and do business the way we've always done it. But not only that, it's coupled with a technology focus that's entrepreneurial for the agent, and it helps you to expand your business, to solve more problems, and to serve at a higher level. So Glenn is a genius when it comes to this. And so again, he was in a real estate career in 2002, but he launched eXp Realty actually in 2009 as the first cloud-based brokerage, okay? Innovation is always happening, and it's happening around us every single day. In fact, some of the best examples of this have to do with Blockbuster and Netflix, right? You remember Blockbuster used to go on a Friday night to get that movie, right? You have to return it within 3 days. And Netflix says there's got to be a better way where people don't have to worry about something being checked out or having to rewind or pay late fees. In fact, they approached Blockbuster with this idea and just asked for a humble $50 million as an opportunity for Blockbuster to buy Netflix. But Blockbuster turned them down, and the rest is history. Netflix has gone on to be one of the biggest media companies in the history of media. Blockbuster no longer exists, but essentially what Netflix did is they took away the brick and mortar. And this is the same thing that eXp did. They took away the brick and mortar. Now, some people get confused and they go, oh my gosh, does that mean we don't have offices? We all work from the cloud? No. eXp corporate, they work from the cloud. In fact, the model with what Glenn Sanford figured out was there's the top, kind of corporate, vision and technology and support. And then there's the agent, but all of the middle management and the middle franchisees and all of the owners, all of that overhead, all of the brick and mortar, all of that cost can be saved, just like Netflix said the same thing to Blockbuster, right? And as that savings is saved, guess what happens? We have opportunities for us to get on the right side of the quadrant. And what are those through? Well, we're going to talk about it here soon, but it has to do with what's called rev share. I call this cash flow in your brokerage. Just like we want to buy investment real estate and get cash flow, what if we can help you build your brokerage with agents, align with you, so that you can actually build cash flow, not only through real estate, toilets, trash, and energy that it takes for that, but through just the brokers that are selling and all of that savings going to you, me, and whoever the team is as we build it out together. And that's what Glenn figured out. He said, if we can get rid of the brick and mortar, make that savings, and pass it on to the agent, we can invest in more technology, they can invest more into their teams and support, which ultimately can serve the client at a higher level. And so Netflix versus Blockbuster is a very, very important case study. Same thing happened, by the way, with Circuit City and Amazon, right? And Amazon, same thing, said, we can take a lot of these things and go directly to the consumer, and we can cut out the brick and mortar. As well, eXp is doing this on so many levels, which is really, really a great thing for us. And this is why it's a great opportunity for you to continue to watch this video to understand this in detail. By the way, another kind of case study, Tony Robbins, he did a study about this Hilton versus Airbnb. And he said, how long did it take Hilton to achieve an $18 billion valuation? It took about 99 years, almost 100 years. Where Airbnb in 10 years had a $31 billion valuation. So not only is innovation taking place, but it's happening at a rapid pace. And this is part of what eXp has been able to take advantage of, because it's not just a real estate brokerage company, it's also a technology platform. It's also an entrepreneurial opportunity for you to be on a increasing valuation, because you also get stock, okay? So this is really cool as well. So just think about how fast things can go. And so at the center of eXp, to make this cost savings, if you're curious and you're wondering, it's this cloud campus environment. By the way, there's no desk fees. You can work from anywhere, right? A lot of our agents, though, they rent out Regus offices, and they have their teams there, and they also get access to offices all over the place. And these are Class A offices that are beautiful and oftentimes even better than your previous office was or is, and you get a chance to be a part of that. But there's also no expensive leases if you're a broker owner yourself, or if you have a franchise you bought into. And instead, you can take that savings, you can invest into your agents, you can invest into your team, you can do more marketing for your clients to sell at a higher price. We're also a completely paperless company, which is great. And then you get instant access to support and training via the cloud-based, we call it Verbella. And Verbella, by the way, is used by top government agencies, different companies. It's kind of like the movie or the game Sims, if you ever played that growing up, where you could be a character. So it's obviously not as ideal about being in the face-to-face, but it's also better than just having to be on Zooms or do phone calls. You can be a avatar, and you can move around, and it actually creates very efficient communication. But all of that savings by doing it and being able to scale is what gives us, the agent, the opportunity to get this passive cash flow and also to build stock with the company as we close deals. So these are some samples of some Regus offices that are beautiful across the world, really. But for the U.S., we do meetings with clients all over. All right. Number 2 is eXp is a technology company. They make strategic alliances with other groups that bring in value, such as for CRM systems, such as marketing packages. We work with Build Out. We work with RealNex. We work with Reonomy. We work with Enriched Data, working out deals with CoStar as well. And essentially, what eXp figured out was, how do we bring in the best for the agent, and how do we put a deal in front of these companies to reduce the overall cost that would take to get on your own, and or if you're just an individual brokerage by yourself. And again, what that savings does for us, it gives us an opportunity to provide a high level of service, as well as investing back into our company and our businesses. And so the agents and teams use eXp Commercial provided tools daily to drive more leads and deals, manage customer interactions, and share property information. And so it's incredible. So if you haven't checked out Build Out, by the way, Build Out's one of the best ways to build a proposal, to list simultaneously to Crexi, to LoopNet, to Bervitas, to all these different places that you're instantly going to change your marketing brochure, and it's going to go out to everybody who's looking to buy your property or lease your property. Okay. Also, there's live training, and this is part of one of my favorite things with eXp is they encourage icon agents, those that are producing at a high level, to do training and to share the information. It's a culture of sharing and collaboration versus more of the culture of just competition. I love competition. I grew up playing sports. I played basketball in college and on scholarship, and I absolutely love competition. But guess what? Sometimes commercial real estate especially can feel like it's every man and woman for themselves. And oftentimes it felt like you were training your competition. I know I did. I would recruit, I would train, I would coach up, I would encourage, I would wave the flag of the brokerage that I was with, and I was grateful for that. But guess what? Did I receive any stock or rev share? I mean, I might have split a 50-50 commission with somebody on a couple deals, but unfortunately, too often it felt like I was training my competition, and the big brokerage house, they were the one that are going to get the ongoing commissions moving forward for that agent. Or even worse, they would leave, let's say, for a competitor, CB Richard Ellis or a JLL or a Colliers, or they'd go off on their own, and now they're my competition. And so you say, what's the ROI to bring in, and what's the incentive to bring somebody in to mentor them if they're just going to leave? Well, eXp, again, has figured out a way to get everyone on the right side of the quadrant, to become business owners together, to be stock owners together. And this creates this level of collaboration that it's hard to even explain, except you have to come see and experience it. But it's incredible. So that collaboration and that training, we share our secrets, we share our deals, and we look at it at like an abundance mindset of how do we all help to grow the business, because guess what? We're all owners in the business. We're not just leasing our brokerage or being self-employed under someone else who is making the majority of the commissions, which we'll talk about commissions here in a minute. But this is really cool. 50 hours of live training every single week for some of the top social media, marketing, negotiation, underwriting experts across the real estate, residential, and commercial field, and M&A and brokerage and business brokerage. So really cool stuff, okay? So let's talk about equity opportunities. So part of this right side of quadrant, right, is agents can become shareholders at eXp Realty. Again, it's traded on the NASDAQ. You can look it up, EXPI. And there's really kind of 3 areas here. There's the sustainable equity plan, and you can earn shares as you close your first transaction, okay? As well as when you sponsor somebody, by sponsoring them, you're basically sharing the idea, you're promoting the eXp model, and you're helping them to get really connect with eXp and sign up and join eXp, okay? And then when they sell a deal, you get stock. By the way, if you're curious about how people even get paid, as an agent, if I were to sponsor you, I would only get paid if you close a deal, right? I'd get stock if you close a deal. Now, I also get paid if I help you to help sponsor somebody else, and they close a deal. And essentially, you've probably already done this in the past with where you're at, except maybe you just got a plaque, maybe you got a gift card, right? And a plaque and a gift card is great, but guess what? If you can build real wealth, ongoing cash flow for life that can be passed on to your kids, guess what? It's just a better model. It just makes more sense, okay? So that's the first way. You can earn stock and earn shares when you fully cap as well. And we'll talk about caps, but essentially commercial real estate for the most part takes 50-50 if you're in traditional brokerage companies of your commission until you hit a certain amount per year, and then it's maybe 60-40, 70-30. eXp, commercial, $20,000 cap. So if you make $1 million in gross commissions, you're paying $20,000 a cap in each calendar year. This is unheard of, and most people think, how can they do it? Back to the innovation in the technology of the cloud-based environment. Incredible stuff, right? We'll talk more about that here in a minute. Also, if you're an Icon agent, you can earn a lot of your cap back, and you can get it in the form of a gift of stock, which is incredible too. So if you hit certain parameters, typically about $500,000 or so of gross commission, they're still working out some of those details for commercial, but you get that $20,000 stock back. So what we're saying is, not only can you earn more, your cap is lower. I mean, I don't even know if anyone has a cap, right? But you're still getting the tools, technology, the support, which is incredible, okay? So you can also enroll, which I personally enroll as well, into the agent stock plan, which essentially 5% of every commission at closing can go towards purchasing eXp stock at a 10% discount. So this is a cool way just to buy stock. It's totally optional though, by the way, on that one. But let's talk about how to unlock what's called cascading revenue shares. And this is one of the things I got most excited about because I have 5 kids, I have 2 businesses, and I was looking at ways to grow my capital. They say the average millionaire has 7 different revenue streams. And so as a broker, is your revenue stream just you closing deals? Is it maybe some commercial real estate, which is great? Well, what if you can open up rev share that it's naturally as you train and coach agents on your team, or even just sponsor different agents as they join eXp, and you get a chance to unlock revenue, cash flow from your eXp business. And this is kind of a little bit how it works. As you sponsor somebody and as they close a deal, you're able to receive cash flow. And as you help them sponsor people and they close deals, you get cash flow. And the simple kind of math that I've worked on right now is, just getting 10 producing agents. And 10 producing agents basically means capping agents, right? And capping agents would be somewhere around about $100,000 in gross commissions per year or so to pay that $20,000 cap. As you're helping them to do that, and you're helping them get others to do that, you're going to get some cash flow off of that. On average, it could be $2,800, but you unlock other amounts as that grows. So you're saying if I sponsor 10 people and bring them in and I help them sponsor another 10, I'm able to get cash flow off of all of those? Yes. And as they continue to build out, yes. And there's people that have 10,000 agents underneath them now. And are they directly mentoring and coaching every single one? No. Typically, it's the teams can join teams or their specialty types, but they do provide that support and some of that coaching and some of that expertise. And again, we all kind of work as a family to grow the business, to help you grow your business, but also get paid along the way, which is really incredible. And this is the eXp residential one, by the way. So eXp commercial is slightly different for the tables here, but it's just the same concept. If you're already recruiting and bringing people in, wouldn't it be great to be rewarded instead of just a gift card or instead of just a plaque, that you can get ongoing cash flow, even if you retired from real estate, right? Most commercial real estate brokers, they don't necessarily have a retirement plan. I mean, they're trading time for dollars or deals that close, and they're trying to invest into real estate. Well, why don't you add another income stream? And the cash flow revenue share plan with eXp is unmatched, and it's amazing, okay? Here's just a 5-year example, or as a sample. If you sponsored 10 agents who sponsor 10, right, it's equal to about $340,000 a year, right? And that's with those agents, basically 110 agents, which is pretty incredible, right? And plus you get shares of the eXp stock. And so, again, look in your past 5 or 10 years, maybe you've been in the business, how many agents have you helped sponsor and bring into your current brokerage? And how many have they helped sponsor? And if you just naturally did that, guess where it could be? It could be worth $348,000 a year. Pretty incredible. So that's the rev share, which is awesome. Another thing I want to talk about is just the commitment to excellence and the commitment to building leaders, okay? In fact, leadership, to the extent that you are growing as a leader, is the single most important factor to the success of your business. So if the leader gets better, everything gets better. And Glenn Sanford believes in that, so much so that he bought and invested into Success Magazine. You might be asking, what's Success Magazine? Well, it goes back about 125 years. And it's personal development, leadership, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, a lot of just amazing content that they have now. Success coaching, Success Magazine, and basically how to create an environment for you as a leader and your team to be the best that you can be, right? And so their eXp is just not a brokerage company. They're investing into Leadership Success Magazine. And by the way, it's a part of eXp World Holdings. So your stock is tied to the success of these other divisions, which is also really incredible. So I'm in the process of becoming a success coach. I'm being trained by, in fact, Tony Robbins' son. He is the head of success coaching at eXp, that is owned by eXp World Holdings. And he is putting us through the trainings and the certifications because I want to become a better leader. And that's what it can do for you as well. You can tap into all of this to help you grow your business. And that includes Success Magazine, Success Coaching, and Success Lending. Yeah, and this is Jerick Robbins right here. And again, he is world class. If you can imagine Tony Robbins being your dad, he has big shoes to live up to, but he's world class at what he does. And I'm so excited for you to meet and connect with Success Coaching as well. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check that out. You can also contact me as well. Let's talk about underwriting the model. Let's talk about no desk fees, no royalty fees or franchise fees. Let's get into the numbers. But before I go there, I want to take you quickly my story to eXp. About 5 years ago, I get approached, and I didn't underwrite the model. I didn't look at the numbers. I didn't sit down and actually wrestle with this. We were taught in commercial real estate brokerage to look at the income and expenses statements, right? To get the quote from the lender, to shop that quote, to look at rent comps, sales comps. How do we raise rents? Can we raise rents? How much improvements need to be made to the property? In fact, we just underwrite the property in such detail. Why? Because we want to make sure we can deliver on our promises or our commitments to our sellers at a highest price and the best terms by negotiating because we know our numbers, right? But guess what? I was so busy, just like probably you are watching this video, that I didn't underwrite the model and I dismissed it. Now that single dismissal has cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in eXp stock and who knows how much in revenue share because I didn't take the time to underwrite it and keep an open mind. Now, about 2 years ago, I get approached by who's now my sponsor and dear friend and mentor. His name is Matt. And Matt is actually in residential real estate. And he said, Brett, I joined eXp and you should take a look at it. And I said the same thing. I said, Matt, it seems like it's an MLM. And number two, it seems like it's not commercial. He goes, guess what? Commercial's coming out. I said, it is. And he goes, oh yeah, it's going to change everything. And I said, but Matt, you got to tell me more, right? And he goes, well, have you underwrote the model? And I said, I haven't. And he goes, well, why don't you look at the numbers? Why don't you look at the rev share opportunity? Why don't you look at the stock? Why don't you look at the actual cap? And let's see how much you made the last couple of years in real estate and how much more you would have been if you would have capped it, let's say $16,000 to $20,000. And that was really eye-opening. And let's see how much stock you would have earned. And so essentially we just did a reverse engineer the past 5 years of my production. And we said, what if it was on the eXp model? What would it be worth today? And that's what I'm asking you to do. To take your underwriting hat and put it on and take the time to underwrite the model and understand what it could be for you with only a $20,000 cap for all of the deals you've closed the last 5 years, as well as how much stock, if you had the stock awards with you, how many people you've brought into your team, or how many deals they've closed and the stock awards you would have there, plus the revenue share. And as you start to underwrite the model, what this can look like for your wealth, right? And your wealth plan and your retirement and or just your cash flow, what it could mean for you, right? So that's the key here, right? It's an 80-20 split with a $20,000 cap. And after you earn 100% commission for the remainder of the year, after you basically earned $100,000, you paid the $20,000 cap, 100% is yours. So you're telling me, Brett, I can make $5 million in commission and only pay $20,000 of cap? Yeah, if you did that in 364 days, yes. And then the next year, if I earn another $20,000 immediately, I pay that, and or $100,000, pay $20,000, then I can go on and earn another $5 million. Yes, you can do that. That is the beauty of this. Now, there's a $250 transaction fee. So there's some small miscellaneous fees that gets capped at $5,000 per agent once your icon status. But this is really minimal. What are the recurring costs? It was about $250 for a tech fee per month, as well as a $250 broker fee per deal. And there's a $100 risk management fee. And you're saying, Brett, this is incredible. So you're telling me they provide the E&O insurance? Yes. And it's a cloud-based environment? Yes. I can have my own office? Yes. I can cap at $20,000? Yes. I can get stock. I can get rev share. Do I have to recruit anybody? No, you don't have to recruit anybody, right? In fact, I look at this as a way just to attract folks and to share the model. And it naturally just, they say, wow, this could be a great fit for me. You might be already doing that, but we have a lot of people that only do brokers, and that's fine. And they love the cap, they love the stock, they love the technology. eXp can be what you want it to be, but these are just opportunities for you to tap into. So I encourage you right now, whatever you do, even pause the video and underwrite the model. Write out your number of transactions you've done, what the commissions were, what you paid in commissions. How about your juniors? How about the people you've attracted or you've recruited or you've brought into the company for the last 5 years, and just draw a line down the piece of a paper and see where that revenue would be if it were with eXp. And I'll help you do that, by the way. You can contact me. I'll walk through it with you. Happy to do that, all right? So underwrite the model. Don't make the mistake I made. All right. And so I'm going to kind of wrap it up. You know, I believe we've all been given certain gifts in this life, and these gifts have been given us to be a blessing and help to others. And so to the extent that we can identify those gifts, maximize the potential of those gifts, and then impact as many people as we can, and also know that there's a higher purpose for why we're here, you know, I believe you can equal success and fulfillment in whatever you're doing. And so I want to encourage you to look at how eXp can be that business partner with you. How all of us together at eXp can be that business partner with you to help you maximize the number of lives that you touch, the number of clients that you affect, all of the problems that you could solve. And so I want to encourage you to bring your unique skill set, bring your entrepreneurial spirit, look at eXp as the solution to some of your challenges. So if you resonate at all with feeling frustrated with recruiting people and they leave and they compete against you, not having really any revenue share, having any stock rewards, and not having the technology and support of a worldwide fastest growing company, I want to encourage you to check out eXp right now. And you can go to expcommercial.com, and you can also apply today. You can also, if you want to contact me, you can look me up, Brett Swarts. We do also have our YouTube channel, Capital Gains Tax Solutions, also expmastery.com. But whoever shared this video with you, I want to encourage you to go back to that person if it could be a great fit as a sponsor, and to join the entire eXp family. So thank you so much for watching this, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you with us at eXp really, really soon.